Intro for the Eternal Soul Chronicle series. And Part 1. Across thousands of years, one soul returns again and again, carrying fragments of forgotten lives and echoes of ancient mistakes. This is the story of a wanderer caught in the great wheel of reincarnation. A soul marked by pride, searching for truth and guided, sometimes gently, sometimes painfully, by a mysterious woman whose wisdom spans ages. Each lifetime brings him closer to remembering who he truly is, and further into the tangled web of karma he helped create. Tonight, we begin at the edge of the Nile, in the fading glory of ancient Egypt. Here, the soul is born as Nebamon, gifted, restless, and haunted by visions he never asked for. It is in this life that the first threads of awakening stir, and the first shadows of downfall take shape. This is Part 1, The Child Who Remembered Too Much.
Whispers rise where the dunes collide. A serpent's path where secrets hide. Golden sun bleeds on stone and sky.
The Fall and Rise of Nebamon, Part 1, The Child Who Remembered Too Much. Section 1. The Presence. In the old city of Waset, where the Nile bends like a patient blue serpent, there lived a boy named Nebamon. He was born in a modest courtyard, shaded by date palms, the son of a quiet scribe and a mother who sang prayers while grinding grain. On the night of his birth, a falcon circled low over the house, drifting once, twice, as if testing the air around this small, squalid life. The midwife whispered that the child's eyes seemed far too knowing, as if he were returning, not arriving. Nebamon grew quickly, a silent, watchful child who traced shapes in the dust before he even knew their names. Again and again, he drew the same figure, a woman crowned with stars, her face half hidden behind a veil of light. His mother called the image Waset, the great mother of magic. But Nebamon shook his head. Even as a child, he felt something unsettling. This was not a goddess he worshipped, but a presence that seemed to watch him in return. At night, he dreamt of her, standing beside a black river under a moon that did not belong to Egypt. She called him wanderer, a word that filled him with both warmth and shame, though he did not know why. Those dreams were the first signs that Nebamon's life would never be ordinary.
Golden sun bleeds on stone and sky. Shadows stretch like hands of time, carving truths in cryptic rhyme. Echoes fall in the temple's glow. What we seek we may never know.
Section 2. Pride. Calm morning light. As Nebamon grew older, his strange gifts only sharpened. While other boys played by the river, he traced symbols in the dust, copying them with uncanny precision. When he entered the scribal school at Karnak, the instructors quickly noticed he wasn't learning, he was remembering. He absorbed new signs with unsettling ease. He recited old hymns that hadn't been taught in decades. One elder scribe whispered, "This boy reads the past as if he lived it." Nebamon enjoyed their admiration, perhaps too much. Pride curled around him like a warm cloak. When teachers corrected him, he bristled. When praised, he soared. But something else stirred beneath his confidence: unease. At dawn rituals, he sometimes felt dizzy, as if the columns of Karnak were shifting around him, too familiar, too ancient. He would study himself and hide the tremor in his hands. The dreams continued. The woman crowned with stars appeared less like a goddess now, and more like a disappointed mentor. Her voice floated through the night. "Listen, Nebamon, remember gently." But he wanted more than gentleness. He wanted answers, immediately, completely, and on his terms. And that hunger would lead him down darker corridors.
What we seek, we may never know. The sands will flow.
Section 3. Frustration. Evening festival sounds in the distance. Nebamon's pride sharpened with every passing season. The priests praised his talent, but he felt they held something back, some deeper teaching, some hidden truth they believed he wasn't ready for. He resented that. He knew he was meant for more. During the festival of Opet, when the city swelled with singing crowds, Nebamon followed the procession through the sacred avenue of sphinxes. The air shimmered with incense and rising chants. And then he saw her. A woman dressed in white linen, bold circlet at her brow, moving through the crowd without touching it, as if the world parted for her. Her face was unmistakable, the woman from his dreams. Nebamon pushed forward, heart pounding, calling out, though he didn't know her name. People complained as he shoved past them, but he barely heard. He reached the end of the street just in time to see her turn a corner and vanish as if swallowed by the sunlight. That night, she returned to him in sleep, her voice calm, weary, unshaken by his desperation. "You forget yourself, Nebamon, and with forgetting comes sorrow." He woke with fury burning in his chest. Why speak in riddles? Why appear only to chastise? Why never explain? For the first time, frustration outweighed wonder. And in that emotion, the path toward forbidden knowledge began to open.
Golden sun bleeds on stone and sky. Stretch like hands of time, carving truths in cryptic rhyme. Echoes fall in the temple's glow.
Section 4. Restricted night insects. Gentle Nile water. Nebamon tried to return to ordinary lessons after the festival, but nothing felt ordinary anymore. Every papyrus scroll he touched seemed incomplete, as if the real teachings were hidden between the lines. He lingered in the temple archives long after other boys had gone home, searching for symbols that echoed the woman in white. One night, he slipped into a restricted chamber, just to look, he told himself. The room was small, filled with cracked wooden chests that smelled of old ink and forgotten prayers. Inside one chest, he found fragments of an ancient hymn, written in a dialect even his teachers rarely used. When he read it, something inside him stirred. The words were unfamiliar, yet he recited them flawlessly, as though the knowledge lived beneath his skin. As he whispered the final line, the lamp flame beside him wavered, and for a heartbeat, he felt a familiar presence standing behind him. A breath at his ear, soft as silk. "Not yet," the voice murmured. He spun around. No one was there, but the air felt charged, as if an unseen hand had closed the lid on his curiosity. Nebamon left the chamber trembling, not with fear, but with the intoxicating certainty that he had brushed against a truth the priests would never give him willingly.
Cedar smoke drifts through the air. 1,000 stars in a single stare. Chimes call out like a distant prayer.
Section 5. Abandoned Evening Tambourine. Nebamon began to test his limits. He slipped questions into conversations with older scribes, questions about forgotten rites, obscure deities, veiled initiations. Some looked impressed, others looked alarmed. One priest, an old man named Kahu, stopped him after class. "You chase shadows," Kahu warned. "They are patient. They will let you follow until you fall." Nebamon forced a polite smile, but his pride hissed inside him. Why should ancient knowledge be forbidden to someone clearly born for it? That night, he sat by the river, watching the ripples catch the moonlight. He tried to recall the woman's face from his dreams, truly recall it, but her features slipped away like water through clenched fingers. He felt abandoned by her, teased by visions he didn't ask for but now depended on. A dull ache spread in his chest. He whispered into the night, "Why do you appear only to deny me?" A heron lifted from the reeds, wings brushing the air like a slow exhale. For a moment, Nebamon imagined it carried her answer, but the bird rose silently into the sky. The silence that followed was not peaceful. It was the silence before hunger grows sharp.
Whispers rise where the dunes collide.
Section 6. Defiance, slow rising drone. As Nebamon entered early adulthood, the temple became both home and prison. He excelled in every lesson, yet each praise felt hollow. He sensed a deeper structure beneath the rituals, as if the ceremonies were only shadows of something older, truer, something the priests themselves no longer remembered. One evening, while closing the classroom, he discovered a small clay tablet someone had left on a bench. Its carvings were primitive but powerful, a serpent biting its own tail, encircling a single star. Nebamon touched it, and suddenly he saw, just for an instant, the woman in white standing behind him, not radiant, but exhausted, as though holding the weight of centuries. Her eyes met his. "You are not ready," she said, not scolding, mourning. Then she faded, and the tablet slipped from his hands. When it hit the floor, it shattered. Nebamon gathered the pieces with trembling fingers. He felt a fire ignite in him, not devotion, not humility, but defiance. If she would not show him the truth gently, he would tear it from the world himself. And so the path toward the forbidden finally opened.
Weathered stone, mysteries wait, the soul's own throne. Echoes fall.
the chronicle continues. And so ends this first chapter in the life of Nebamon, and another part of the long journey of our wandering soul. Nebamon's life in ancient Egypt is only a portion of a story that stretches across continents, empires, and centuries. Each lifetime revealing new lessons, new failures, and new glimpses of the mysterious woman who guides him through the ages. If you felt the pull of this unfolding chronicle, I invite you to subscribe and continue walking beside us. Each segment reveals more of Nebamon's forgotten past, the karmic ties he cannot escape, and the quiet, steady hand that tries again and again to lead him toward awakening. This project is alive, growing, and evolving in real time. To learn more about the creation of this series, the research behind it, and the greater vision shaping this reincarnation saga, you can visit plum.academy for deeper insights and updates. Thank you for sharing this opening step of a journey spanning more than 2,000 years. Reincarnation in historical and spiritual traditions. Before we close, it's worth remembering that the idea of souls returning across lifetimes is far older than Nebamon, older than any single story we can tell. The ancient Egyptians themselves believed the soul was made of many parts, each seeking balance across the ages. In the Vedic traditions of India, the cycle of birth and rebirth, samsara, was woven into daily life. Among early Greek philosophers, Pythagoras spoke of memory echoing through multiple incarnations. Mystical branches of Judaism preserve teachings of Gilgul, the soul's return for further refinement. And in early Christian mysticism, long before doctrine settled, some teachers whispered that souls grow through repeated earthly lessons. Across cultures, across centuries, humanity has sensed the same quiet truth, that we are more than one life, more than one moment, and that the heart remembers things the mind cannot. Nebamon's tale is just one thread in that vast tapestry, and together we will follow it. Life after life, age after age.
Whispers rise where the dunes collide. A serpent's path where secrets hide. Golden sun bleeds on stone and sky. Shadows stretch like hands of time, carving truth in cryptic rhyme. Echoes fall in the temple's glow. What we seek we may never know. The sands will flow. Cedar smoke drifts through the air. 1,000 stars lives in a single stare. Chimes call out like a distant prayer. Through the veil of the unknown, a voice as soft as a weathered stone. Mysteries wait, the soul's own.